Okay, hi guys. I'm going to stitch out the 4x4 version of my newest ornament, and this is the 5x7 version. It has one, two, three, four pieces of applique, and the rest of it is just stitched by the machine. So I'm going to go ahead and do the first step, which is going to give me the placement line for the ornament. Bear with me. Okay, so this is the placement line. Okay, so there's the placement line, and now I'm going to cover that with my vinyl, which is going to be the base of the ornament. And the next thing to stitch out is going to be the antlers. Okay, this is going to take about 3 minutes to stitch out, so I'll come back and show you when it's done. Okay, there are the antlers. The next stitch is going to be the placement line for the body of the reindeer. And so I'm going to stitch out the placement line, then cover the placement line with felt, and then it's going to stitch the details of the hooves before it actually does the tack down of for the applique. I did that on purpose because I wanted to make sure that the hooves were in there before the outline was in there. So that's a little bit different than how I've traditionally done applique before. But so anyways, it's going to stitch out the placement line. I'll cover that with felt, then it's going to do the details, and then stitch out the tack down. So I'll go ahead and do that. Okay, again, that was the placement line for the reindeer. Now I'm going to go ahead and cover that with felt, or you can use material or vinyl, whatever you want. And then it's going to stitch the details of the hooves. Oh, I want that to be... Again, I did the details before I'm doing the tack down because I wanted them underneath the tack down lines. So now I'm going to do the tack down of the deer body. Okay, now the felt is tacked down, so I'm going to take my scissors and trim around the outline of the deer, and I'll come back and show you that when it's done. Okay, there's the reindeer. I just trimmed around the applique for his body. Now the next step is going to do the placement stitch for the scarf around his neck, and then I'll cover that with felt, and it'll again stitch the details of the scarf before I do the tack down. So I'll leave the video going so you can see that. Okay, there's the outline stitch for the tack down. Now I'm going to make sure that it's completely covered by felt, and I'm going to run the details. Okay, and then it'll immediately do the outline of the scarf for the tack down. Now it's going to stitch the tack down. Okay, now I'm going to take my scissors and just trim around that and I'll come back and show you when it's done. Okay, I've trimmed around the scarf. Now the next step is going to be the reindeer nose, and I'm gonna do it red so he's like Rudolph. So as a placement stitch, then I'll cover it with felt. Cover that tack down, or cover that placement line with my felt, and run the tack down. Okay, now I'm going to trim around the felt, and I'll come back and show you. Okay, so I trimmed up his nose. Now the next step is going to put his cheeks in and his eyes. And I'm just going to trim up the little jump stitches on the eyes. There we go. Okay, the next step is going to be the placement line for the heart on his chest. And then I will cover that with felt and tack it down. The placement line. I'm going to cover it with felt, just like that, and stitch the tack down. I'm just going to trim around the heart, and then I'll come back and show you. Okay, the next stitch is going to put the placement stitch for the grommet, which is right between the antlers. the hoop from your machine, turn it over, and we're going to attach the back. You need to make sure that your vinyl will cover the entire thing. And then I usually, okay, the outline is going to go obviously around the deer. So this is out of your stitch line, and so is this. So that's where I'll put my pins. You can obviously use tape or whatever you normally do. If you use pins, you want to pin from the top to the bottom so it doesn't scratch your machine. Back on the machine. Make sure everything feels flat. Nope. I've not had real good luck with using tape with this machine. It gets jammed up, so I do use pins. You just have to make sure you're out of the stitch line. That feels better. Okay. And this stitch will attach the backing, obviously, to the front. Okay, before you exit out of the design or take your design out of the hoop, you want to double check the back. The backing is on correctly. Take your pins out. Okay, and then I'll get on the hoop and cut my ornament out. So you can see the size difference between the 5x7 and the 4x4. Quite a bit difference. Okay, when I come back I will show you how I finish off the ornaments and make the hangers for them. Okay, I've got the ornaments cut out now. Now I'm going to install the grommet, and I'm using a crocodile, which is usually sold by the scrapbooking stuff. And I'm going to punch a hole right where the grommet placement was that we stitched out. So I'm going to punch a hole right there. And then I like to use on vinyl the 2-part grommets. I think that they hold a little nicer. So they have a front and a back, 2 pieces. You put the top piece in through the top, and then in the back you put the ring on it, just like this. And then put it in the other end of the crocodile and clamp down on it. And there's your grommet. Okay, and then for the hanger, on 4x4 ornaments I usually use 2 beads. On 5x7 I use 3. So I've got about 10 inches of jute string, and I put a small piece of painter's tape on the end to use it kind of like a needle. So I'm going to go through the grommet and then come around and pull that tight, just like that. And then thread my beads through, just like that. And then I usually put another knot on the end to hold the beads down, just to hold them in place, just like that. And then I make another knot higher up, and that's going to be what you hang your ornament with. Okay, sorry about that. That was my husband. So, okay, where was I? I just put the top knot in, and I'm just gonna cut the end off, and then there's your hanger, just like that. Okay, so now I'll do the exact same thing with the 5x7 one. Okay, clean up the hole. Okay, the top part goes in on the other side. You can kind of see what side is up. It's got like this little ridged area, and that just goes over the back. And then it all gets clamped down, just like that. Okay. Now I'm going to do the exact same thing with making the hanger, only this time I'm going to use a piece of string and a piece of decorative string. I think this is called kitchen twine, if I'm not mistaken. It's the stuff you're supposed to tie up turkeys with. Okay. Put my ends together. All 4 ends together, and then I'm going to take a little piece of painter's tape, tape the ends together, and then twist it so I can use it like a needle. Just like that. Okay. Through the front of the ornament to the back, and then through both ends and pull tight, just like that. And then I'm going to thread my beads through one at a time. Okay, and then overhand knot just to hold it in place. Okay, and then another overhand knot right underneath the tape. and then cut the end off. Just like that. And there's the hanger. Okay, and on the 5x7 guy, well, actually, I'm going to do it on both of them. I'm going to glue a little button right on top of the scarf, just like that. On the 5x7 one, I just took a piece of twine and ran it through the button, and I'm going to glue it right on top there. Okay, so a little hot glue on the back of the button, just like that. And I should get it in my fingers. Okay, there we go. He's cute. Okay, and then with the 4x4, I'm actually going to just glue it on there, and then I'm going to use a Sharpie and make the thread lines on it, because otherwise it'll be too bulky. And just set the button right on top. Okay, then I'll wait till for it to dry, and then I'll take a Sharpie and just make little thread lines in it. So, there you go. The 5x7 and the 4x4 reindeer. Hope you like them.